Because now it's a cluck house. Now it's a cluck haunted house. You didn't have any other options? You didn't have any other options about getting a house. That house was the only house. That's it? Hell, y'all could have did an apartment. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot going on in the world. Jesus Christ. I don't want to make no noise during the reaction or something. Look at that. Come on. I know y'all see it. Look. Yo. Hold on. Yo. Let me see. It's been a minute. Oh yeah! Sup, though, let's go.
So I've been down here for a few minutes now.
Just found this little clearing, so...
The hell? What the hell? Here we go. Hold on. That's insane. Okay.
This story from a couple years ago is without a doubt one of the most horrifying things that has ever happened to me. It's one of those stories that makes me think in retrospect that I'm lucky to be sitting down writing this. I say that because it wasn't until hours later that I realized just how lucky I was.
Right.
I'll try my best to tell this story, but please go easy on me. I'm not a writer, and I always hated writing in school. I'm sharing this story as a reminder that you never know who could be out there in the world with dark intentions.
I'm saying!
A few months before the incident I'm about to describe, I moved to a quiet, mostly rural area. I don't love the hustle and bustle of the city, so to be in a quiet neighborhood with not a lot going on was ideal for me.
Let me ask you a question. If you had to choose between the two, a very quiet neighborhood, oddly quiet, or just very loud, there's something going on, there's something always going on, all the time. Like, I'm talking about leaf blowers at night. I'm talking about parties outside. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. All it's something loud happening all the time. I don't know. That's hard for me to decide. Oh, God.
It didn't take me long to get acquainted with the surrounding area, specifically the forests around my new neighborhood.
Jesus.
The area I lived was heavily wooded. There were forests and paths everywhere to hike. Practically right outside my door was a path that led deep into the woods.
God damn!
I spent weeks exploring the forest and finding new paths. One day when I was hiking, I found a little path that ended up leading to a legitimate path from a local park near my house. It's not a state park or anything like that, just some kind of local nature reserve where you can park and hike.
Hell no.
I thought it was cool that I had my own little private path leading to this park. So every Saturday, I would wake up early and hike in the woods around my house. I would try to find new areas of the woods I hadn't been to. At some point during the day, I would make my way to the public park trails, head to the public restroom there, rest on the benches if I needed a break, and then head back through the woods to get back to my house. Whenever I would find a cool, new area in the woods, I would record a little video. Nothing crazy, almost just like a little video diary to talk about where I was and just how I was feeling. These videos were just for me. I didn't post them online. It wasn't about views or anything like that. I just wanted to document my travels and one day put them all together in a video for myself. I'd found some truly amazing places on some of my travels. One time I found this little waterfall, and the waterfall fell into this creek.
It sounds lovely. It sounds peaceful. It sounds amazing. It sounds beautiful. But at the same time, it's the woods. It's the woods. That's all I got. It's the woods.
The water in the creek continued to flow down this hill. It felt almost dreamlike the way it looked, and this creek was just hidden in the middle of the woods. It felt like it was my little secret. The place I found on the day of this story was nothing special. I'd been hiking for a while, and I found this clearing in the woods. There was a small swamp there, and I found it kind of peaceful, even though...
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie to you. That little body of water literally looks like where you could possibly dump bodies at. It's in the woods. It's deep in the woods. Nobody really knows about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that looks like where you dump bodies at. I'm not gonna lie. That looks so creepy.
though it wasn't this amazing gem like the creek, it still felt peaceful to me. I remember feeling uncomfortable that day when I was walking through the woods. I didn't know why. I just had that bad feeling. I felt on edge.
In air.
Every sound I heard in the woods made me tense up. I had walked these woods so many times at this point, and I never felt like this before. So when I got to the swampy clearing and felt that moment of peace, it just felt nice. I pulled out my phone to record a video. I recorded a video that lasted maybe a few seconds describing the area and how I was feeling. As soon as I was done recording and taking in the area, I started making my way to the public trails. Eventually, after making it to the trails, I made my way to the public restrooms. As I walked out of the bathroom, this man in a black hoodie, purple hat, and sunglasses came right up to me and said, "Hey there." He said it with a lot of confidence, almost like he knew me. I said hi back politely, if not a little surprised. He made some weird joke about us almost bumping into each other, and I just laughed awkwardly and walked away.
Sir, where the hell did you come from? Where did you come from? I know I may not look like it, that I'm scared out my mind, but I am. Inside, my heart is beating fast as shit, and I've got the chills like a motherfucker. That my soul passed out. It's just like my physical body didn't catch up. It didn't react to my soul. So it looks like I'm still here and I'm still conscious, but I'm not. I'm not. Because, sir, you came out of nowhere.
As I was walking away, I could hear him following me.
Okay.
I turned around, and he waved and said, "Looks like we're going to hit the same trail." I smiled, but I was feeling major creep vibes from this guy. I told him I was actually waiting for someone, and I was just stretching. He nodded and said okay, and continued walking several feet. Then he turned around again, walked back toward me, and asked if I could help him.
Wow.
He said that his car was messed up and that he needed help getting it going. He said he knew how, but his hands were too big, and he asked if I could use my small fingers to pop the hood. According to him, his car hood sticks, and he needs small fingers to pop it enough so he could open it. It seemed weird and sketchy to me. I made a comment about how he just said he was taking the same path as me, and now he wants my help with his car instead. Then I doubled down on the statement that I was waiting for someone, which wasn't true. He laughed and said he was going to take that path to get to the car, even though the parking lot was in the other direction.
Okay.
My creep meter was overflowing at this point, and I considered just going into the bathroom, locking the door, and calling someone to pick me up. I didn't know if this guy was just trying to get my number and he was just bad at talking to women, or if he was an actual creep. Thankfully, this couple walked by, and I walked right up to the woman and greeted her as if I were an old friend. The woman was confused at first, but she took one look at my face, and I think she realized what was going on. The creepy guy started to linger awkwardly for a second. It was like he was trying to see if I was bluffing. I started making small talk with the couple, even going as far as to ask them how their parents are doing. A minute or so passed, and the creep started walking in the direction of the parking lot. When he was out of earshot, I thanked the woman and her boyfriend for playing along and told them that this guy was just standing outside the bathroom waiting for me, and that he wouldn't leave me alone. I know I didn't directly tell him to leave me alone, but come on, read the room. Not to mention, he was giving off major creep vibes, and me being alone in the woods, I just wasn't taking any chances. I watched the man get into a small red sedan. I believe it was a red Chevy Cruze, and then he drove away. They offered to call the police, but I told them that that was okay. The couple stayed with me for a little bit, made sure I was okay and that the purple hat man didn't come back. Then we went our separate ways. They did insist on driving me home, but I told them that that was okay. I'd rather walk since I didn't live that far. I practically ran back to my house that afternoon. It was such a weird day. From that horrible feeling when I was hiking, to the creep at the bathroom, I just couldn't wait to get home and relax with a glass of wine. Unfortunately, my relaxing night was about to shatter. I started going through the pictures in the video from that hike.
Oh,
something caught my eye in the video.
He's in the pictures.
I played it again, and my heart stopped.
Just found this little clearing, so I'm probably going to head back to the bathroom here in a minute and head home.
Oh my
In the background
God!
of the video, just in the tree line, was the man with the purple hat. While I was talking, giving my hike update, you could see his purple hat and black hoodie just over my shoulder. It was the same man from outside the bathroom.
Jesus.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should call the police or not. I started to freak out thinking about the man. How long had he been following me? Did he know where I lived?
Yeah.
But most terrifying to me was that I had no idea what he intended to do. He clearly was trying to follow me back into the woods, and then when I stopped, he wanted me to join him at his car. The same car that was supposedly broken, even though he got right in and drove away. Once I started adding up the pieces, I called the police department and reported everything. The police searched the area and conducted a little investigation, but as far as I know, they never caught the guy. I never hiked alone after that, and I moved away about a year after this happened. I hate that I don't even know that couple's name because they honestly probably saved my life. Be careful out there, my friends, because you never know who's out there, lurking just behind you, waiting for the perfect moment. Thankfully, that purple hat guy never got his moment, and I hope he never does. I found the video from that day and attached it to the story. On its own, the video may seem harmless, but once you know all the details, this short clip becomes a nightmare.
First of all, that video wasn't. If I saw that video without no context, it doesn't seem harmless. It seemed like somebody was like behind you that you didn't know about to attack your ass. That's what it seems like. Somebody behind you, lurking in the wood, lurking in the trees, trying to cluck you up. That's what it looks like. And also, girl, what are you talking about? You're in the woods. What do you expect? It's not like you was like, I don't know, like, you're in the woods, like, what, why is it, I didn't say that. Yeah, it really be the people that's closest to you that might do something. You know? Might be your classmates, your co-workers, your neighbor. But it's like, if you're in the woods, you know what I thought he was going to do? I thought he was going to attack you to the max, and he was going to cluck you up to the max and dump your body in that body of water that we seen. That's what I thought. up, Ace?
So this is probably the wildest thing that's ever happened to me. And to make it even more insane, I can't believe I actually caught it on video. Let me set the stage. My friend Ron and his wife Tina had just bought this new house. This was probably like 4 years ago, I think. At first, everything seemed amazing for them. A nice little house in a safe and quiet neighborhood. A few months after moving into the house, I met up with Ron for some drinks, and I asked him how the new house was treating him. He started acting a little weird. When I continued to press him on the house, he finally caved in and told me what was bothering him. He and Tina were convinced that the house was haunted. I can be kind of a jerk sometimes, and I started to laugh as soon as he told me. I asked him why he thought his house was haunted, and then he gave me the entire story. For starters, apparently someone did die in the house, something the real estate agent did in fact disclose before they bought the house. So this wasn't a surprise.
Okay.
It's what actually made the house cheaper for them to purchase.
And you still wanted to buy? You still wanted to get the house? You still wanted to buy the house, even though somebody died in the house? Okay. Because now it's a Cluck house. Now it's a Cluck haunted house. You didn't have any other options? You didn't have any other options about getting the house. That house was the only house. That's it? Hell, y'all could have did an apartment. Jesus Christ.
Because of that little bit of information, Ron and Tina had convinced themselves that the ghost of this dead person was haunting their house. I'm not a believer in ghosts or anything else paranormal. It's just not my thing. I'm not a horror or true crime fan. That's probably why I always dismiss people when they start talking about spirits or anything like that. I started pressing Ron a little more. I said to him that just because someone died in the house, it doesn't mean that it's haunted.
Yes, it does.
He continued to give me more of the story. He told me that every night, he and Tina wake up at some random hour. There are strange noises that seem to come from everywhere in the house. He insisted that it wasn't just the pipes or the house settling. He said it was like something bumping into furniture and moving around. They would wake up in the morning and furniture would be slightly moved.
Oh my God.
Things that were on the counter would be misplaced or moved completely.
Hell no.
Ron said that on one occasion, he left his favorite Miami Dolphins coffee mug on the counter, and in the morning, it was gone. They searched everywhere in the kitchen, and it was just gone. Ron claimed that he didn't think it was anything paranormal at this point. He was still just weirded out by everything, and all the strange events must have just been some kind of weird coincidence. That all changed a few nights before Ron decided to tell me this story. Just like several nights prior, he and Tina woke up in the middle of the night. It sounded like a crash coming from the basement. Wanting answers, he went down to investigate, even though he was terrified. The basement is loaded with boxes and storage, so he said it was impossible to be able to tell if anything had just fallen over. Apparently, while he was down in the basement, something moved in the corner of the room. Ron ran out of there so fast and hadn't gone back since. He started calling all these strange things happening in the house paranormal activity, like the movie. And just like in the movie, he was terrified that if he kept antagonizing it, things would get worse. All of this seemed ridiculous to me. I was trying not to laugh because I could clearly see that Ron was upset. I was politely trying to remind him that paranormal activity is just a movie.
Okay, well, if you think I'm making this shit up, if you think I'm just saying, I'm just pulling shit out my ass, and I'm just like, you know, just trying to play a prank on you or trying to joke with you, how about you stay in my house for a week and see what happens? You do that. And watch. watch. If we stay in this house for a week, ain't nothing gonna happen.
And you can't antagonize something that's made up. That set him off. He was well aware of how he sounded, and that was part of the reason he was so upset. He knew this sounded crazy, and yet he hadn't slept well in weeks. Now he's terrified to sleep at his own house. He even told me that he and Tina had slept at a hotel the last 2 nights. They didn't want to sleep in the house until they could figure out a rational solution to this absurd problem. He was practically in tears trying to explain this to me. He said it was like an extreme phobia. Ever since he went into the basement, he's convinced himself that something is down there.
This is your fault. This is y'all fault. Y'all chose this house. You knew somebody died in this house. Come on.
and he said he's physically unable to go downstairs. I still couldn't tell if Ron was pulling a prank on me or if he was serious about all this.
Man, come on.
Even as I write this, I'm shocked all over again that Ron and Tina thought their house was haunted. This just seemed so irrational to me. I was starting to feel bad for Ron. He was so upset, he could barely get the words out now. Because I thought this was ridiculous, I offered to check the basement for Ron thoroughly. I told him that they just need to calm down a little bit and come to their senses. I said I would check every corner of the basement and make sure no ghouls are present, and that whatever noises and weirdness they're experiencing can be explained somehow and some way.
Okay, so explain my pot and pan set being thrown across the kitchen. Explain my favorite coffee mug being in one spot, and then the next, see, cause now I'm stuttering, I'm scared, hey, explain my coffee mug being in one spot in one night, and then the next morning it's in a whole nother room downstairs. Explain that. Oh, all right.
He was hesitant at first because he thought my being there might antagonize the spirit, but I shut that down quickly. I remember Tina fighting with Ron on the phone after this because she didn't want me to check it out. She was 100% convinced that this was paranormal in nature, and I, along with both of them, would be in trouble if I went and looked in the basement. After the call, Ron said he would drive me to the house, but he was going to wait outside, and that we couldn't tell Tina. I was a little sketched out by that, but I wanted more than anything to prove to them that nothing was down in their basement. When we got to the house, Ron begged me one more time not to antagonize the spirit, just in case. I just nodded and walked into the house. Me being me, I fully intended to antagonize the imaginary ghosts to prove that they don't exist. Before going into the basement, I walked around the house, and nothing seemed weird or out of the norm, other than a nasty odor. And before anyone starts to think that the odor was like demonic in nature or whatever, it wasn't that kind of odor. It was like body odor. Finally, I went into the basement. It was a mess. There were boxes everywhere. After looking around for a second, I started shouting for the ghosts to appear.
Wow!
And just like you may expect, there were no ghosts or any other paranormal events happening. I was about to leave, and then I decided to have a little fun at Ron's expense before leaving.
Stop.
I pulled out my phone and started recording a little video. I was recording in selfie mode just because I was only going to show this video to Ron as a joke. I made a comment in the video about how there aren't any ghosts, and as you can see, there's nothing but storage down here. I turned around and lifted the camera a little bit to show the storage over my shoulder, and as I did that, I thought I saw something weird in the corner of the screen. So I moved the camera back a little bit, and sitting right there was some creepy old guy.
Oh my God.
Not a ghost or demon, but a sickly old man. I wish I'd continued recording, but out of instinct, I just turned it off and ran.
No.
So I've been down here for a few minutes now, and I haven't seen any ghosts, monsters, or any paranormal activity at all. Nothing except all of your useless storage down here.
No!
Oh my
God.
When I got upstairs, I slammed the basement door and held it shut. I heard the old man screaming on the other side of the door. The scream was more of a painful wailing. I continued to hold the door shut with one hand and called Ron with the other. When he answered, I blurted out that he needed to call the police because there was a man in his house. Not a monster or a ghost, a man. While this was happening, the man made his way to the basement door and tried opening it as I was holding it shut. I started yelling at him, and he just kept screaming. Then the screaming turned to him repeatedly saying no, 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 over and over again. It probably took like 10 minutes for the police to show up, and I tried to hold the door for the entire wait. And I kid you not, this guy tried opening the door the entire time. As soon as I heard the police cars roll up, I let go of the door, and the man busted through it. I should have waited until the police were in the house. There was a moment when I was standing face to face with this old man. He was clearly insane. His eyes looked almost plastic. He screamed in my face so loudly that it knocked me over, and then he ran out the back door of the house. I tried chasing him, but the old guy was deceivingly fast.
What? The cops was right there. My nigga. You're lying, bro. The cops pulled up. You heard the cops pull up. And you decided to let go. You decided to let the door open. The cops is right there. I'm holding on to that door until I see the cops with my own eyes, until they right there next to me. Man, they were right there. Please tell me they caught him.
Started yelling for the cops, who were just now jogging through the house with no urgency whatsoever. I told them that the guy ran out the back door, and I didn't see which direction he went. The cops looked for a bit, but couldn't find the guy. Ron called Tina and told her what happened. She was angry at first, but then just in shock over everything. We went into the basement to check everything out after that. The awful smell was clearly the body odor of this man. In the corner of the basement was a small pillow and a little blanket, and the smell was the worst over there. Also next to the blanket was Ron's Miami Dolphins mug. I gave the cops the video, and I don't think they caught the guy. At least not to my knowledge. After all this, Ron told me that before this happened, Tina never locked the doors. She grew up in a nice neighborhood, and since this was also a nice neighborhood, she didn't think anything horrible could happen.
What?
Either one day while they were...
I don't give a cluck about none of that. I don't give a cluck about none of what you just said. I am always locking my door. Every single time. I don't care how quiet the neighborhood is. I don't care how safe the neighborhood is. I don't care how many kids are outside. I don't care about how many times the officers drive in and out my neighborhood. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about how many Ring doorbell cameras are on each house. I don't care about a church being up a block up the road. I don't care about a school being down the street. I don't care about none of that. I'm always locking my door. I don't care. I don't care.
Or at work, or in the middle of the night when they were sleeping, this man just walked into their home.
That's crazy.
Now she checks the locks about 5 times before going to bed. It just goes to show you that no matter how nice an area you live in, if you leave the door unlocked, you'll always be inviting unwanted strangers into your house.
My man just walked in the house like he'd been there before. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wonder if he has anything to do with that house. Like, I wonder if that was his house. I got so many questions about that guy and the house. Like, is there any relationship with the house, or he's just some random ass dude? Also, let's not glance over the fact that, excuse me, somebody died in the house. What? I mean, obviously we can put everything that happened in the house. We can connect it to the man that was in the basement, but you know what I mean? Somebody still died in the house. So I'm pretty sure there's some paranormal activity going on, but it's not like not too crazy. God damn. What's up, John? I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that last name.
About a month ago, I was asked to house and dog sit for my boss. It was only for a few days, and his dog Max was the easiest and most chill dog ever. Not to mention, my boss is rich, and I needed the money. So this job was an easy yes to make some extra money on the side. One thing that sucks about me is that I struggle to sleep when I'm not at home. I won't use the word insomniac, but it sometimes feels like that. I guess it could be nerves, but I don't know. I just don't sleep well when I'm not in my own bed. Being proactive and knowing I was going to stay up late, I brought over my Nintendo Switch. I decided I was finally going to play the remake of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. That was all I did almost the entire first night. The next night, I took Max outside for a late night walk a little after 10 p.m. I walked him just around the neighborhood a little bit. While I was walking back, I thought I saw someone standing by the boss's house.
You did.
I slowed down and tried to squint the best I could, but it was just too dark to tell. As I got closer, I didn't see anyone. The darkness will always play tricks on your eyes, especially if you're somewhere you're unfamiliar with. I got back inside and started playing my game. It was about 1 a.m., and I remembered that I had left my charger for my phone in the car. I went outside to grab it, and a few houses down, just standing outside, was a person. They weren't doing anything objectively wrong or scary. It was just weird that someone dressed in all black was standing outside at 1 in the morning. Even if they were walking, it wouldn't have been as weird. It was only because they were standing there that it was weird. Ultimately, I ignored it. My thought process was that it was just someone who lived in the house over there, and he just happened to be outside at the same time as me. Maybe he was looking at the stars. After all, I was also outside at 1 in the morning. I went inside and continued playing the game for about 2 more hours. I shut the game off and started scrolling on my phone. I thought I kept hearing this noise, and it was starting to annoy me. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but it sounded like it may have been a tree branch rubbing against the house, or maybe even an animal. The noise was making me anxious for some reason. I think it was because I didn't know what it was, and I wanted to. I got off the couch and looked out the window in the living room. I jumped back as soon as I looked outside, because a person was running away from the window.
Jesus!
I got up and ran to the other window, and by the time I got to the window and looked, nobody was there. My adrenaline was pumping. I was trying to process what reason someone would have to be creeping near the house. I contemplated calling the police, but I decided not to.
Why?
Call me crazy, but I just didn't feel that threatened for some reason.
What?
It wasn't like the person was trying to break into the window. The person was close to the window, yes, but when I looked, he was running away. I realized there isn't a way for me to put this that doesn't make me look like an incompetent idiot for not calling someone. Even if this person wasn't trying to break in, they were still trespassing and clearly up to no good. But I'm an idiot, and I just let it go. The next day, I called my boss and told him about the weird visitor the previous night. Believe it or not, he was even less bothered than I was. He told me that in the neighborhood behind his house is a bunch of houses where young teenagers live. He told me that they cut through his yard all the time, and one time he even caught a few of the kids looking into his house windows. He claimed they were harmless, but it still gave me an uneasy feeling. I didn't care if they were just kids. I wasn't trying to get spied on. That night, I decided to take Max for another walk. This time it was a little later. We went at 11 instead of 10. When I was coming back to the house, I was looking for any signs of a person, and just like the night before, I thought I saw someone standing right by the house. Instead of slowing down, this time I started to speed up. As I got closer, it was definitely a person standing outside my boss's house. When I was close, I saw the person run behind the house. I brought the dog inside the house and then ran back outside, trying to scare whoever was messing with me.
Okay.
I went to the backyard and looked around with a flashlight, but I didn't see anyone. I looked all around the outside of the house for several minutes, and I saw nobody. This started to feel a lot like teenagers trying to mess with me. Like this was totally something I could see teenagers doing. I was thinking that my boss was right. I went back inside and made sure everything was locked. I didn't think I was in danger, but I wasn't going to take any chances. A few hours later, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I decided to look out the window in the front of the house. Sure enough, someone was standing outside. Not right outside the window or anything. They were under the streetlight that was on the grassy median across the street from the house.
I thought he was about to show somebody right outside the house. That's why I jumped. Oh, God.
I just watched the person for a few minutes. It was weird. The person didn't move at all. They were just standing there looking in the direction of my boss's house. I still didn't know if this was a teenager playing a prank. If it was a joke, it was a weird one. I didn't see anyone else around, so I couldn't imagine the joke's payoff would be good. Then I made probably the single dumbest move I've ever made in my life. I went outside and started shouting at this person, trying to get some kind of reaction. Nothing crazy. I was just saying hello and asking if I could help them with something. They still didn't move. After that, I announced to them that I was going to start recording them. I just wanted my boss to believe me. That's why I decided to record the person. I started recording and tried to focus on the person. It was dark, so I couldn't see that well. While I was recording, with no warning, the person started to charge after me.
Oh!
This wasn't a light jog either. This person was hauling fast after me.
Go in the house! No!
I started to run away. I didn't mean to stop recording, but I did. I ran back inside and locked the door. I looked out the window, and I didn't see anyone. I waited for 10 minutes, and I still didn't see anything. I walked away from the door and sat in a chair in the dining room just to process what happened. I still didn't know if this was a real attack or not. While I was sitting there, the doorbell rang. I didn't move or say anything. The doorbell rang again, and I still didn't move. I heard them try to open the door once, but thankfully it was locked. After they tried to open the door, I heard a calm and rational voice say, "Have a good night." I didn't know what was happening here, and between the chase and this experience at the door, I was completely paralyzed. I didn't want to call the police, but eventually I did. Even with the video, the cop was confident that nothing could be done. The cop was a nice guy, and he promised to keep a squad car in the area for the rest of the night in case this person came back. I showed my boss the video when he came back, and he looked sick. Right away, he said that person was not one of the teenagers. He didn't know who it was or have any idea who it could be. The most likely answer is that it was just some wicked person out in the night who happened to see I was outside one night, and for whatever reason, this person just decided that they were going to terrorize me. So far, as of me writing this, my boss told me that he has not had anyone show up to the house and has nothing weird to report. He even bought ring cameras for the front and a motion camera for the back of his house, just in case. What bothers me the most is that I have no idea why this happened, and I never will. Why would someone just randomly target me? Some people I talk to think this was just an elaborate prank, but I don't think so. Who would risk getting arrested for a prank like this?
A clock ass.
In that few-minute window of being chased and having him come on the front doorstep, I felt like my life was in real danger. Prank or not, this is something I'll never forget.
I'm not gonna lie. You recording that man and him staying still, just like perfectly still, and then him 1 second he's still, and then the next frame he's hauling ass to you. I don't know if he was zoomed in or what, but he looked like he was. He looked real close to you. I probably would have called the cops. The very first time I saw him. To be honest with you. But was it the second story? Was it the second story where let me see. Yeah, it was the second story with the basement. The cops were right outside. The cops were right outside. If you waited like at least another minute or so of just holding that door, he would have been caught. Jesus. But I feel like it's something paranormal going on. It's probably real small. Not enough to like make a video out of it, but and with that first story, lady, I probably would have left. Yeah, I'm not entertaining that dude whatsoever. I don't know where he came from. That's crazy. And the fact that he was in your video behind you, just watching you that whole he's watching you. He's probably watching you for like, I can't really put a time on it, but like he was watching you for a while, probably getting one off. Keep it cool, keep it classy. And I love you. Stay happy, my family.